In the heart of the Alaskan wilderness, surrounded by glaciers that have carved these mountains for millennia, stands something that shouldn't exist. A 14-story wooden building, painted blood red, rising from the ice like a monument to a forgotten age. This is Kennecott, Alaska, and it's been waiting here, frozen in time, since 1938. Today, I'm taking you inside one of America's most perfectly preserved ghost towns, a place where breakfast tables were abandoned mid-meal, where hospital beds still hold their sheets, where an entire community simply vanished. Our story begins in 1900, when two prospectors named Jack Smith and Clarence Warner were navigating the treacherous Alaskan terrain, searching for gold. But what they found was far more valuable. A massive outcropping of rock, stained green with copper oxidation, jutting from the mountainside. When they tested it, they couldn't believe the results. This wasn't just copper. This was some of the richest copper ore ever discovered on Earth, with concentrations reaching up to 72% pure copper. To put that in perspective, most copper mines today are profitable at just 0.5 to 1% copper content. This ore was so rich, you could practically smell the money. Word of this discovery reached the most powerful men in America, J.P. Morgan, the Guggenheim family. These industrial titans formed the Alaska Syndicate in 1906 and purchased the mines for what would become one of the most profitable ventures of the era. But there was one enormous problem. The copper was here, in one of the most remote and hospitable places on Earth, 200 miles from the nearest port, surrounded by glaciers, accessible only by dog sled in winter and treacherous mountain trails in summer. So, they built a town. From nothing. Between 1907 and 1911, one of the most ambitious engineering projects in American history unfolded in this frozen wilderness. First came the railroad, 196 miles of track carved through impossible terrain, over massive bridges, through mountain passes where temperatures dropped to 60 below zero. Every nail, every timber, every piece of equipment had to be hauled up that line. Then came the town itself. They built everything. A 14-story concentration mill, the largest wooden structure in Alaska. A hospital with operating rooms and x-ray equipment. A school, a general store, a recreation hall with a tennis court. Employee housing that could withstand Arctic winters. And on July 29, 1911, the first ore shipment rolled down the mountain. They built an aerial tramway system that stretched high above the glacier, carrying ore from 5 different mines: Bonanza, Jumbo, Motherlode, Eerie, and Glacier, all converging on that massive red mill. Inside that 14-story building, ore was crushed, sorted, and concentrated through a complex system of gravity-fed processing. The ore moved down through the building, getting refined at each level until pure copper concentrate emerged at the bottom, ready to be shipped to the world. By 1920, Kennecott had grown to nearly 500 residents. But the real population swelled to over 600 when you counted the miners living in camps at the mines themselves high up on the mountains. Kennecott wasn't just a mine. It was a fully functioning community carved from the ice. The hospital treated everything from mining accidents to tuberculosis. The doctors who worked here were among the best paid in Alaska, lured north by the company's deep pockets. Children attended school here, learning their lessons while the tramway cables hummed overhead and dynamite blast echoed from the mountains. The workers, miners, engineers, mechanics, cooks, laborers, came from all over the world. Many brought families. They played baseball in summer, ice skated on frozen ponds in winter. They held dances in the recreation hall. But make no mistake, this was a company town. Everything was owned by the Kennecott Copper Corporation. Your house, your job, the food in the store, the doctor who treated you. If the company wanted you gone, you were gone. And the work was brutal. Winters brought darkness that lasted 20 hours a day.
temperatures plummeted to 40, 50, 60 below zero. Miners worked with dynamite in frozen tunnels where one wrong move could bring a mountain on your head. But the copper kept coming. Year after year, those 5 mines produced some of the richest ore ever extracted from the earth. The company was making a fortune until the mountains started to run dry. By the late 1920s, the easy copper was gone. The ore grades were dropping. The richest veins had been exhausted. To keep mining, they'd have to dig deeper, work harder, invest more, all for less pure copper. In 1929, the Glacier Mine closed. The Great Depression hit the world economy, and copper prices collapsed. The accountants started doing the math, and the numbers didn't lie. Kennecott was no longer profitable. In mid-1938, the Mother Lode Mine set down, then the others, one by one. And on November 10, 1938, the last train carrying copper ore rolled down the mountain to Chitina. After 27 years of continuous operation, after extracting over $300 million worth of copper, worth billions today, Kennecott was finished. The company made an announcement. Operations would cease. Workers had just days to pack their lives and leave. And here's where the story becomes almost unbelievable. They left everything. In their rush to evacuate before winter trapped them, people abandoned homes mid-life. Breakfast dishes still sat on tables. Medical supplies remained on hospital shelves. Machinery stood ready to operate, just waiting for workers who would never return. Kennecott became a ghost town almost overnight. But Kennecott wasn't completely empty. The company left behind a single family, watchmen hired to maintain the property and prevent looting. Imagine that life, living alone in a town built for 600 people, walking past empty houses where children once played, hearing only wind through broken windows and the creak of wooden buildings settling in the cold. They stayed for years, through the 1940s, through World War II, through winters where they were completely cut off from the outside world for months at a time, until 1952, when even they finally left. And then something remarkable happened. The extreme cold, the dry air, the isolation, it all worked to preserve Kennecott almost perfectly. The town became a time capsule, a museum frozen at the exact moment it was abandoned. When the National Park Service took over in the 1990s, they found buildings still standing strong after 60 years of abandonment. That massive red mill, 14 stories of wood-frame construction, still towering over the glacier. Today, you can walk through Kennecott and see history exactly as it was left. This isn't a reconstruction or a museum recreation. This is the real thing. One of the most authentic ghost towns remaining in America. So what's the lesson of Kennecott? Maybe it's about the impermanence of boom times, the transient nature of industrial empires, how quickly a thriving community can become a memory when the resources run out. Or maybe it's about human ambition, what we're capable of building even in the most impossible places when there's profit to be made. Kennecott stands as a monument to both, a reminder that we can build incredible things, and that nature always reclaims what we leave behind. The copper is gone, the people are gone, but Kennecott remains, frozen in time, waiting in the Alaskan wilderness, for anyone brave enough to visit.
Thanks for watching.
Drop a comment below and let me know. Would you have the courage to be one of those watchman families, living alone in a ghost town for years? Or what abandoned place should I cover next? Thanks again for watching. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the forgotten corners of our world.